Hey y'all, today we're going to be battle blinking for a perfect Mantine. I'm doing this on the Japanese version of the game because currently this method is not doesn't work on the US version of the game. You can also do this on PAL 50 Hz if you have the disc and are able to run the game at 50 Hz. I'm doing it on Japanese now. Not being able to read is not a huge deal in Colosseum as long as you've played the game as many times as I have. But let me show you the spread we're going for real quick. So, come over here and I'll show you the spread that I manipped my trainer ID and secret ID for on this save. I have the profile selected, and so I'm just going to punch in the spread here. Bonk. And there we go. So I'm going for Calm. 5x31 Calm. It has Swift Swim, which I don't want. But a lot like I did for Makuhita in my last video, I'm going to re-roll the ability by catching it in the postgame. So this one will end up with Water Absorb, which is better. That's a better ability, I think, especially for a defensive set. So yeah, like I said, I manipped my trainer ID and secret ID for this. I also manipped Mantine's dex number as the trainer ID, kind of a novelty thing. Also watch my Makuhita video if you are interested in learning how to do that. One thing real quick to mention is that because this is a Battle Blink Pokemon, certain spreads are not hittable. So you should check to see if your spread is hittable before you manip your trainer ID at the beginning of your save. This is all outlined really well in John's explanations document that comes with the Copilot download. So I'd recommend reading over this if you're not sure exactly what I mean, but I'm going to show you a quick way to check that. This is pretty important so you don't waste like your whole save file. With the later Pokemon in the Real Game Gauntlet, you can do Evolution Blink to get around that restriction of certain spreads not being hittable with certain Blink Pokemon, but Mantine we have to Battle Blink for because it's so early in the game, and we really only have one good reliable Blink Pokemon to use, which is Bayleaf. You can do this with other Pokemon which blink, but like Espeon, for example, but its eyes are so small that you're going to have such a hard time you're going to have a really hard time actually seeing them to log them. So I would recommend checking, if you're going to do Mantine specifically, I'd recommend checking to make sure that your spread is actually hittable with Bayleaf. And there's an easy way to do that in Copilot. You can also do this in Pokefinder if you want. But if we go and set the force advances to something like 100,000 and we hit calculate, it's going to give us our target seed as actually the seed that's 100,000 before our target. So we can copy that and bring it over to target Pokemon. We paste it in here. We set our filters correctly. Clicking Bayleaf for this. And then we filter for our Pokemon. And we want to set this to 100K. We can see that it shows up here. A spread which is not hittable using Battle Blink won't show up on target Pokemon here. So if you didn't do this step or you skipped this step and you got close to your target and then it just didn't show up for whatever reason, that would be why. Like I said, for the Real Game Tower Pokemon, if you run into this issue, you can just use Evolution Blink for it. And I'm going to have a dedicated Evolution Blink video out eventually. I'm going to do it for Metagross because that's going to be a pretty common target. But I've already taken care of all that for this. So we are set. We have our spread. I got to wipe this box out before I forget. And so this is the target seed we're going for. I'm going to copy it over to our target seeds box on initial seed. We're going to do a calibration run first, though, so it won't matter if we get a close one on this first here. But I'm going to set this up to read my inputs. If you don't have a capture card, you just do initial seed manually. You should have some familiarity with this because you should have manipped your trainer ID and secret ID at the beginning of your save. So I'm just going to go through it pretty fast. And then, of course, because this is the Japanese version, I had to change my reference images a little bit. You basically just take this trainer name and sub it in for whatever one is normally there on another file. So this would be Seth. So you can just name it Seth in the images folder, and it should detect everything. You don't need to change your images for the Pokemon. So I just switched out the 3 trainer names, and then the capture features just started working for me. So pretty convenient. And I just copied my old images from when I play in English, and I just swapped them out whenever I switch game versions. So we're doing our initial seed here. So that is our current seed, which is handy. And we're going to do a calibration run on Mantine here. Like I said, this is Battle Blink. If you've never done anything like this before, this is a really easy Battle Blink to learn. We'll start our file here. We'll do a calibration pass, and I'll explain some of it. So I've already cleared out all the trainers up to the Remoraid trainer. And the reason you can't do regular Blink or anything for this is the reason we use Battle Blink is because the Mantine trainer is in a battle, which comes immediately after another battle. The Shadow Remoraid trainer challenges you, and then the Shadow Mantine trainer challenges you. So you don't have any opportunity to back out and re-blink or perfectly advance to an RNG state. So we have to advance to our RNG state at the end of the first battle, leading into the second battle. And we do that on the prize money screen as it rotates by logging the blinks of one of our blink Pokemon that comes out. So I'm just going to clear up until the last battle here. I'm also going to pull up a list of, while I'm here. Let's see. I think there is... yeah, there we go. So, let me blow this up a little bit. This is important to mention, too. I have Umbreon next to my Bayleaf here. And this is the configuration that I'm going to want to have ending this battle to do my Battle Blink. It's important that you have a Pokemon next to your Battle Blink Pokemon that doesn't blink at all, because that ruins the RNG manip. Your blinks aren't going to be able to be synced. John here in the explanations document has a full list of Pokemon which don't blink, which he calls dummy Pokemon. And for this manip, you can use Umbreon, you can use Makavita, you could use Furret, you could use Slugma. Dunsparce, Sluddy, Piloswine, Vibrava, and Sunflora are all after this, but you could use those for the Battle Blink Pokemon in the Endgame Gauntlet. I'll probably flash up a quick graphic of these guys, but all of this is in the Blink Pokemon section under Battle Blink, under the explanations document. So if anything I'm explaining isn't super clear, or you're having trouble with this, I would always reference back to this document. The documentation for Copilot is amazing. John put a lot of work into putting this document together, and I really recommend reading it. So anyway, we're going to advance to the second battle here, or right before the end of this battle. So yeah, I'm not catching Remoraid. So I think when you're doing Battle Blink, I would recommend trying to keep a consistent strategy for the last turn of your battle, because it's very important if you're going for a perfect spread, like I am. It's very important to know roughly how many advances the last turn of your battle does, because we're going to blink. We're going to blink on the last turn, blink close enough where we have kind of a buffer zone. And then we're going to do the last turn, and then we're going to re-find our seed with Battle Blinks from Bayleaf. So it's a good idea to know about where to look and about how many advances happen during that last turn, so that you can get yourself close enough where you're not Battle Blinking for 45 minutes, and not too close where you're overshooting your target. So important, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that on this calibration run. If you're doing a random shiny, and you probably don't even need to for this specifically, but I'll show you guys anyway. And we're going to keep track of our advances that happen on the last turn here in our notepad. But I'm leaving Spinnerack alive for this because Spinnerack doesn't seem to do very much. It manages to boost its speed with agility, but it doesn't really... It doesn't seem like it even goes fast. It even goes before Umbreon. So Bayleaf is in hyper mode, which is totally fine. That's another thing you should look out for. I would use a move that's 100% accurate and not Shadow Rush, because Shadow Pokemon can just waste their turn going into hyper mode, and that could be the turn you really need them to attack to end the battle. So I'm using Umbreon's Bite to end this battle. I'm going to get rid of Love Disc here. And all that's left is going to be Spinnerack. And Spinnerack's just going to go down to 1 bite. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to lock in Bite, and then I'm going to go to the Pokemon menu. We're going to come over to Espeon, and we're going to re-blink. We're going to re-find our seed. And this is going to be just for calibration purposes at this point. But this is also, when we get to doing our actual attempts, this is where we're going to do most of our advances, and then we're going to inch close enough to our target where we're inside our buffer zone. I'll explain that later when we actually do attempts on our perfect guy, but for now we're just going to re-blink. So I'm going to take our seed that we found when we did our initial seed, copy it over to the Blinks tab, bring this guy out here. I've got regular blink checked. One thing I forgot to mention is that when I set up this profile, I put in my timer offset for regular blink in here. When you do battle blink or when you do evolution blink, you should always make a copy of your profile because the offset is going to be different. And you don't want to lose this offset here, so you don't just want to change it. So I have a perfect pancake battle blink, which is going to be the profile that we're going to select to actually do our calibration on here. So I can select that now. Oops, sorry, hold on. I have to close this for me to actually be able to click on this. So I'm going to select that now. Make sure that you have a profile with 0 offset, copy of your main profile, because we're going to be changing our offset for the timer based on what we hit on this calibration run. But for now, I'm going to find seed. I'm adding a 0 here. I'm just going to make this 1,000,000. I don't think we've advanced more than 1,000,000, but you can set the search range pretty wide. It's not a big deal. So I'm going to click Start Inputs. I'm going to press Shift every time I see Espeon blink. I'm going to do about 6 or 7 of these. That's probably fine. Yep, so that's probably our current seed. If we want to check, though, we can take our current seed, paste it over here, go over to Show Blinks, and set a really short timer. I'll do like 1500. And then if we click Open Timer, these sounds should match Espeon's blinks. That's how we know we're actually on a seed. If the sounds don't match Espeon's blinks here, that means that we had a false positive seed, basically. We logged a bunch of blinks, and the game thought it found a match for us, but it wasn't right. If that happens to you, I'd do it again, but if you continue having trouble, I would make sure you fix your search range. Your search range might be off. You might be looking at a different place than you actually are. So I'm just going to back out of this on the timer. We're not going to be on an exact seed here, but that part's not important. We mostly just wanted to open up the blink timer to make sure we were on seed. So we ended about here. We didn't exit on an exact blink, mostly because I don't have my timer calibration set up, and we had a remainder here. But this seed is roughly where we are, which is going to be important. So I'm going to paste it up here. We're going to end the battle, and when we battle blink, find seed is going to tell us how many advances happened between this seed, where we roughly are, and when we're able to re-identify our seed with Bayleaf. So we're going to use that number for our attempts on our perfect target later. I'm also going to set this up because I didn't do that. Make sure that you have your blink Pokemon and your target Pokemon selected correctly. Also, very important, make sure that you have your game version set correctly. This is because these blink cooldown values are different depending on the language and the hertz you have selected. So if you're playing on PAL, also make sure you set your refresh rate to 50 hertz and you're actually running it at 50 hertz. Your blinks won't be able to sync up otherwise. You're not going to find any matches. So make sure all of this info here is set correctly, and we should be ready to go. So also, you want to make sure you select the little pip to be on Battle Blink. So I'm just going to select Shadow Rush, and we're going to end the battle. Umbreon goes first, bites, and then gets rid of Spinnerack, which is exactly what we want. If anything else happens in this turn, the amount of advances could be different. But I've got it pretty much figured out, so it's not a huge deal. But on a more complicated battle, especially the ones in the end game, make sure you have a consistent setup to end the battle. So I pushed B once there to advance the text. And we're going to leave it on this. IHOP is my trainer name. Got this amount of money for winning the battle. We're not touching the controller at all anymore. It's going over there. So we're going to let this pan around a little bit. About 45 seconds to a minute, you want to wait on this screen for the RNG to stabilize before we start to log blinks from Bayleaf. So I'm just going to let it spin. I might set a timer when we go for our actual attempts. But once we've waited long enough, we're going to be looking for the blinks, and we're going to be logging them. Unlike with regular blink, where we want to make sure that we log 7 or 8, depending on your search range, 6 or 7 blinks directly in a row. If you miss one when you're doing regular blink, you're not going to get accurate results, or you're not going to get any results. With Battle Blink, we're only logging the ones that we're 100% sure about, because of the camera movement, you're not going to be able to see all of them. So it doesn't look for them consecutively. So when you're doing Battle Blink, I would 100% recommend to only log the blinks that you are certain of, the ones that you can see and the ones that you can see clearly. Your video setup might be different from mine. You might have a different video quality than mine. You might be doing this on a television where you're far away from the screen. Thankfully, I'm doing it on my monitor, which is like right here. So all right, I'm gonna get ready to blink here. I've been vamping too long, so the amount of advances that happen between these two things is going to be higher than normal, probably. But so I'm going to wait until it zooms in real close, and we're going to get a couple of good blinks. I'm just going to press Shift when I see a blink. There's 1, 2. I thought I saw one there, but I'm not going to blink it, or I'm not going to log it. We'll wait till it keeps going around. Again, take your time with this. There's 2, 3, 4. I won't log that one. I'm going to wait till it goes around again. Again, patience is the name of the game here. If you just spam the button when you think you see a blink, you're going to get a lot of results. It's going to go faster, but you're not going to get matches. Six should be pretty good. I think it's probably this one. If you have multiple results here, you can continue logging blinks to narrow this down. So I can log one more, and we'll see these results narrow down. I'm going to wait. I'll wait till it goes around again. I'll get one more good blink logged. And I think it's probably this one, just because search range. It's definitely not these huge numbers, so... but I'll log one more, and we'll make sure it's that. Yep, so it's probably this one. I'm just going to go with this one. So we can take this current seed. Well, actually, at first I should take down the amount of advances that happen here. This is probably a high number. I'm probably going to go for about 15K as my buffer zone, because I was waiting a really long time because I was explaining stuff in this screen here. So we're probably not going to have a number this high again. But I might still go for it as a buffer zone just to be safe. So we want to take that seed and bring it over to target Pokemon. I'm just going to filter by any shiny. Oops, that was not the right. Hold on, sorry. I want the current seed, not the number of advances. So we have one here, and we should be able to open the timer. So just like with regular blink, the sound effect should match when Bayleaf blinks here. If that's not the case, you have a false positive seed, and you want to start over. You want to go back to blinks, log 6 or 7 blinks, make sure that you're accurate with those, and then the sounds match when you see the blinks. So I'm gonna hit mute. So I just clicked to advance to the closest shiny that we have, which was about 3 or 4 minutes away. Or I guess like 1 minute away, not 3 or 4. And just like with regular blink, I'm going to advance past this text box when the timer goes off. That's really all there is to it. And then when we get to the second battle, we're going to catch what we caught, or catch what we got, and see what it is, see how far off we were. And that'll be our calibration value. So I'm just going to press B to advance past this once the timer goes off. Any second now. Well, I guess 20 seconds now exactly. All right, I pressed B when the timer beeped the last time, and I'm just going to mash until we get into the next battle. The timing on this is a little bit tighter than regular blink. This is about 1/30th of a second. So it's a lot like if you've ever done Generation 4 RNG, it's pretty similar to that timing-wise. It's just a little bit more punishing because you have to do, it could take you an hour plus to advance to a specific one of these guys. So I'm gonna just throw a great ball. And then I might Shadow Rush, but I don't know. That might not kill it. I don't think that'll kill it, right? I'll call so I don't do too much damage. Excuse me. Oh, damn. Would have been convenient to catch it in one go here, but that's okay. So next turn I'm going to Shadow Rush with Bayleaf and do a little bit of damage so I can catch it just a touch faster, hopefully. Umbreon is taking some hits. Okay, I'm going to play it that way. Could never get a clean calibration catch. Umbreon's probably going to go down here. That's fine. Umbreon did its job. It was our dummy Pokemon. I'll just switch Quagsire in. I'm bringing Quagsire along for our attempts at our perfect spread, because Quagsire gets Surf, and that's a super easy way to check to see if it has Water Absorb. Since, again, I'm blocking it in post-game to capture it. To flip the ability, I'm also going to catch it in a Dive Ball, which you can't normally get in Colosseum until after the post-game. So, Quagsire is a great way to check to see if it has Water Absorb. Combining that with the speed check that I have set up, which I'll show you guys later, and I can check the gender. I should have a pretty good idea that it is my target without catching it. But yeah, also Quagsire's Water Absorb, which is really nice. So, Hopefully I can catch this eventually. Always the slowest part of Colosseum is trying to catch the Pokemon. I'll do one more Shadow Rush. Assuming this doesn't catch, which I would hope it does. Excellent. Okay. So now we can check to see if we hit our target. I'm going to copy this number. The target that we went for, I'm copying the advances by blinks. And we're going to bring it over to the blinks tab, and we're going to go to calculate offset. I'm going to paste that in as our target advances. That is the number that we're aiming for. Now I'll come over here and click Find by Stats. I think I also need to copy this seed up here. Okay. So now I enter the stats of our guy, 93, 38, 52, 64, 96, not 69. I want to dyslexic that one, 58. All right, so we hit 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. If we come over here, and we click calculate, that has an offset of 81, which is pretty typical based on what I've hit before in doing some practice runs on this. So we can take that number, and this is different. This is going to be based on your reaction times. So if your number is different, don't worry about it. It probably should be around this range, but I don't know. You could push the button way different than I could, so who knows. So we're taking that 81, and we're copying, and we're editing our new profile that we have specifically set up for Battle Link. I'm going to edit, and I'm going to change the timer offset to 81, and click Save. And so next time, if we were to do another attempt on a random target like this one, we would do the exact same thing, but next time our timer is adjusted based on what we just hit. So we should be a lot closer or hit our target. So if we did another attempt, we could hit 80 or 82 or 84. We would just adjust our timer offset based on what we hit. So next time. But we're gonna go for our perfect spread. So that's enough calibration, at least for me. If you've never done Battle Link before, I would recommend trying to catch a random shiny first. Just learning the process, getting it down, doing that 3 or 4 more times until you hit a random shiny. And that's only because the attempts on your perfect shiny are going to be hours long. So you don't want to continue the learning curve into attempts that are that long. But we're ready to start seed resetting for our perfect spread now. And I actually, let's see, did I copy this over? So I already copied my target seed over at the beginning here. But you look up the spread that you want to hit, or these spreads, if you're going for something like, 2 IVs or something that's not so rare. You can copy a bunch of target seeds and put them all in here if you want. We have one that we're looking for, though. So I'm going to go back to seed. And we're just going to find our initial seed. And when it finds us our initial seed, it's going to tell us how far away this is in Shadow Pokemon Snag List time, which is the default. We're actually going to be using Shadow Pokemon Summary, so we can select that. The timing between these two is not that different. If you look at this number of advances per second, it's slightly more for the Snag List, but it's not that different. So if you forget to change this, your number of time, your time weight is not going to be that different, but we want to switch this over to Summary. So we're not going to wait 34 hours, so I'm just going to reset the game and do this again until I find a weight that I'm actually going to go for. And I usually take anything around an hour. Less is great, but usually reset until I find something that is around an hour. Excuse me. Got a frog in my throat today. I don't know if you can hear it. So we'll do, I'll do one more seed reset, and then I'll cut until I found a seed we're actually going to be going for. So, not 47, but I'm just going to keep resetting the game and keep finding my seed until I find a time that I actually want to do an attempt with. And then we'll go for our perfect one, and I'll show you guys the process that I'm using to do that. Okay. Hey, everybody. That was about an hour 15 of seed resetting. Pretty brutal. It took me a while to actually pull a good weight here, but we got one that's just under an hour, so I'm going to take it. I've been resetting for a while, so might as well. So I'll copy this bad boy, paste it over on the blink tab, switch back to regular blink, and we're going to start our save. Okie doke. So I left an empty spot on my party for the last one to make it more convenient to catch and calc. I'm actually going to switch that out. We're going to grab our speed check, which is this Metagross that has 1 speed lower than my Mantine. If we come back over here and we check show stats, we can see that our target has 61 speed. I just recaught this Metagross until I found one that had 60 speed. You can do that with whatever Pokemon you want if you want to do a check like this. Metagross seemed like it was the closest to the speed stat that wasn't way over. Furret is pretty fast too, but it's like usually much faster. So Metagross is what I went with. So if Mantine outspeeds, I will know that it has a 31 speed IV, or it could also be a positive speed nature, which would make it not my target. But like I mentioned earlier, I can use the ability and the gender to help narrow it down as well. You can search around your target by doing the trick that I showed off with forced advances earlier to see if your spread was hittable. I can go 50 forced advances, take this seed, wipe that out again. Search within specified range, paste that in, keep our filter. Oh, actually, we want to wipe out our filters. Hold on. If we do that, it's going to show us every advance. There's our target at 50. Oops. Oh, shit. Sorry, hold on. There's our target at 50, or 51. But by doing this, we can see what's around our target. So there's not much that could potentially be a false positive here. There's one, this one with Swift Swim and 61 speed pretty early, but that is what, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, where is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 early, which I don't think I'll hit early because we did our calibration pass. I don't think I'll hit 7 early. So, but this could potentially be a false positive. There's another one with 61 speed that is 1 early. But it's a male gender, so I'll know right away once it gets sent out if it's actually our target or not. But if I see a female gendered Mantine that passes the speed check and doesn't have water absorb, I can be pretty confident that this is my guy, just based on what's around here. There's another 61 speed here, but this one does have water absorb and is male, so pretty easy to tell. I would just look around your target and make sure that if you're doing something like this, you have, and you're doing a post-game capture like I am. If you don't care about the Pokeball or the ability, you can just catch it right away. But if you want to do something like this, I would just look around and see what's nearby. Like here's another one that's faster, so that would pass the speed check, but it's also male. So I don't have that many false positives to worry about. So, and I took that into consideration when I set my prep up. So, all right. So we're going to go back and get situated here. Let me switch that back there. So we're going to go over, we're going to get into the last turn of battle. One thing that I would recommend having, for this setup, or for any of the Battle Blink setups, I would do this. Have an unpurified Shadow Pokemon in your party. I could use any of these guys, but we're going to use Shadow Pokemon Summary to do our advances. You can do Snagless, but you would have to account for all of the advances that would happen in the whole first battle if you were to do that. So not convenient. We can just do our full weight on the Summary, right on the last turn of our battle. So I'm going to get to the last turn. Then we'll refind our seed with Blinks, see how far away we are in Snagless time, and then do our Snagless weight while leaving a buffer. I'm probably going to leave about 1600 as my buffer. So we're going to do the same setup we did last time, because with our we did our calibration run, we left Spinnerack alive, and we used Bite to KO it. Super consistent. I'm going to try and run the exact same method here. Let me pull up a timer real quick. I'm going to make sure that my face isn't blocking this. We'll just drop that right there. Good enough. Yeah, running the full face cam for this. I got a new one, so hopefully the quality is a little bit better. But it wasn't playing nice with my automatic background removal software, so a little bit bigger in the way, but I might get a green screen or something, or just live with this. So get rid of Love Disc here. Leave Spinnerack around. Alright, gonna be one more turn. Only thing I would look out for in this is that Spinnerack can use agility, and it could potentially be faster than whatever you've got. Even after one agility, it wasn't faster than Umbreon. And if it's faster, then it would use an attack, which would do additional advances. So your buffer zone that you might have calculated during your calibration pass might be different. That's the only reason you'd want to keep that in mind. You want to make sure your last turn is consistent. So for me, it should just be Umbreon going first and using Bite and KOing Spinnerack as my last turn. So it looks like it's just attacking. It's not using agility, which is fine. As long as Umbreon doesn't go down, we're good. We're on the last turn anyway, so I'm going to lock in Bite, then I'm going to go to Bayleaf's inventory. Go to this switch Pokemon, and we'll go over to Espeon here, and we will start blinking. So I have my initial seed in the blink tab, find seed there. I've switched it back to regular blink. Make sure you check that little box, and we will refind our seed. 4, 5, 6, 7. See how that goes. Yeah, all right. Let's see if that's our target, or if that's our actual seed. I'm just gonna do a quick one of these. Yep, looks pretty good. So I'll exit on this timer, and then we should be around this seed. We don't need to be on an exact RNG state for this. We're going to get a ballpark because we're going to do bulk advances anyway using the Shadowmon summary. Okay. So I'll take this seed down here. We probably could take this seed too. We only did about 1,000 advances there, so not a big deal. But I'll take this current seed, and I'm just going to copy our target seed. I'm going to make sure that I have Summary selected because we're not doing Snagless. If you have Snagless selected, you're going to have less amount of time. But if I click Calculate here, yeah, so this is with Summary selected. If I have Snagless selected here, it's going to give us a little bit shorter of a time. So we would undershoot. So you'd still be okay if you had that selected by accident, but we want to use an accurate number of advances per second there. So because viewing in the Summary versus viewing in the Snagless is slightly different. But so we have about 57 minutes to wait. But this time is actually directly the distance from this seed to this seed. So that doesn't account for any of our buffer that we calculated during our calibration pass. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to copy the number of advances here, and I'm going to put it in wait time. I'm going to check this little tick box there. And then I'm going to put I'm going to go 16, 1, 6, 3. Because when we did this calibration pass, I did kind of, while I was explaining it, I sat on the battle blink screen for a little bit longer than normal. So I think 1600 will probably be fine. So I'm going to go to Shadow Pokemon Summary. When you change this one also changes. So you don't have to worry about that, but just double checking. And if we hit calculate with that, which it should give us a different time. Yeah, it's like 1 second off while accounting for the wait. But I'm going to undershoot anyway. So we'll go 57. We'll go 57 minutes flat. And then I'll do a second stage wait just to make sure that I don't overshoot by accident. So I have my timer. Any timer works for this. This is not precise. So I'm going to just start my timer when I click summary on any unpurified shadow Pokemon. I'm just going to use Quagsire for this, but there we go. So we're going to sit here till that timer goes off. Then I'm going to refine my seed with Espeon, do my final advances, my probably 30 seconds or whatever it's going to be. And then we'll clear the last turn, make sure we're about 1,600 advances away from our perfect target. We'll end the battle. We'll bite to kill Espeon, or we will bite with Umbreon to kill Spinarak, and then we will refine our seed with Bayleaf, hopefully advance directly to our perfect target. So I'll see you guys in about an hour. Welcome back, everybody. We're about a minute away from leaving our snag list here, or our summary, I'm sorry, not snag list. Then we're going to reblink, probably do our secondary wait, which will probably be like 30 seconds or so. Then we're going to inch closer to our buffer of about 1,600. Then we're going to end the battle, reblink with Bayleaf, and aim for our perfect target. Pretty easy. This process is not too complicated. About the same as we did for our calibration run. We just want to make sure we're around our buffer zone before we get into the end battle pan. When you're at the end of the battle there, you really can't do anything to advance to do a lot of advances. So it's a good idea to make sure you nail down your buffer zone. You don't want to overshoot, and you don't want to be too far away. So we're going to close out of that. I'm going to get rid of the timer for now. We're going to need it again in a second, though. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to grab the advances number that was directly from where we started to our target. And I'm going to set this as my max advances for blinking. Because if we're past this, we passed our target, which we probably didn't, but it's a good idea to set that as the max. So let's see. So that's 1, 2, 3. So that's 58 million. So I'm going to set this to 57 million. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I think that's right. And I'm just going to make sure I have the correct seed in here. I don't. Oh, that was the seed that we wanted. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So I have regular blink selected again. Make sure I have my correct profile. Yep, I didn't change that. That's good. All right. Also, hold on. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm gonna refresh this bad boy. It's feeling a little bit laggy. Sometimes if I leave my capture card on for too long, I get a little bit of lag. Didn't feel as responsive as I wanted. All right. So we'll log blinks. I'm gonna press shift every time I see Espeon blink. I'm gonna do about 7 of these. 4, 5, 6, 7. We could try both of these if we want. Let's see if this is correct. Yep. All right. That's the right one. Great. So I'm gonna exit on this timer, and we'll copy that seed over. Again, you don't have to be super exact about this. You probably use any of these seeds, just use the one I gave you. But perfect. All right, so we got that bad boy. We're going over to seed distance. I'm gonna paste that new one in. So we're about 33 seconds away, but that is of course directly from our target. So I'm gonna copy the advances over here to wait time. And all right, 32 seconds, that's fine. We'll do that. Timer. I'm gonna back out of this just a touch early, I think, just to be safe. And we can use any shadow Pokemon again. So I'm gonna push this like that. So I'll probably back out of this just slightly before we get to 0. And then we'll refind our seed again, and we'll inch closer. I'm going to use the blink timer to get as close as we can. Excellent. We can set our new max advances like this bad boy, and that's a super small range, so we can probably just search from 0 to our max. Make sure I have my new seed in there. And we will... Oh, so I didn't need to push that. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, that looks good to me. I'm gonna put this in seed distance here. So we're about 38K away. Let me just do the math on that one. So again, I copied over the advancements. Putting it in wait time here will chop off the buffer zone that we want to have. I'm going to bring it back over to show blinks, and I'm going to paste this in. And the blinks are matched, which means we're on seed. So by taking the amount of advances different, so I took, let me do that again slower so that you guys can see what I was doing. I did the seed distance, I took the advances number, and I put it back down here like normal. But instead of waiting 1 second in a Shadow Pokemon summary, which could potentially overshoot us, because those advances are fast, I just took the number of advances minus our remaining advances, and I put it over here in show blinks. And that's just going to give us a timer to get us this number of advances, or at least to the closest exit blink that is that number of advances. So it's actually going to put us 7 advances earlier than that. But if we take this seed here, this is the seed that we're currently blinking to. If we take that seed and come over here and put it in seed distance, we're 1,607 advances away from our target on that exit blink. So that's pretty much the exact range we want to be in, so that after that I will leave the summary, finish the battle, and we'll be all set. I can poke in and out of a Shadow Pokemon summary to do advances a little bit quicker than this, but 12 is not bad. If you're inexperienced with this, it's very easy to overshoot by looking at a Shadow Pokemon summary or doing snag list advances, so I would recommend... as long as you can get it down to a reasonable blink timer here, I would just wait it out. I could go in and out, and I could probably get this down to like 5 minutes. Probably cut this wait in half, but it's not a big deal. We'll just wait till this timer goes out, back out of Espeon, finish the battle, reblink with Bayleaf, and hopefully advance to our target. So I'll see you guys when this timer is almost up. All right, hey everybody, we're about a minute left before we leave our summary here. I'm actually going to keep this seed handy, assuming that this works out. I can blink directly to this seed on my next attempt if I don't hit it this attempt. So then I'll have my buffer pretty much locked in. I can just blink right to this, which is, I don't know, an extra step. Probably not necessary, but kind of handy. So once this beeps, I'm going to back out of this. We're going to finish the battle, and we're going to re-blink with Bayleaf. I'm also going to use this seed as my reference point when I search for the blinks. So I'll back out of this. We'll get everything set up, and we'll finish the battle. There we go. All right. So I'm going to take this seed. This is the seed that we're pretty close to. We're not exactly on it, because again, I'm using a profile for Battle Blink, not my profile for regular Blink. Not a big deal. But I'm going to paste that up here. I'm going to go back to Find Seed. I'm going to switch to Battle Blink. We can probably leave our max advances or search range at this, because we're expecting to be about less than 1,600 away. So I can let this search range be pretty big. So again, I'm going to make sure that I have my Battle Blink profile selected. This Battle Blink profile has our timer offset from our calibration run. And I have the little Battle Blink box selected. Again, making sure that everything else in my profile is set correctly. This is set to Japanese. My Blink Pokemon and my target Pokemon are set correctly. I can also take this opportunity to set up my target Pokemon filters here. So I'm going to filter for my 5 IVs and just have Shiny selected. So when we refind our seed with Bayleaf, I'm going to come over here, paste it in, and click search, and we should see a result, and we can blink to it. So with that all out of the way, time to end our battle. My shit looks like it's lagging again. I'm not sure. All right, so we've ended the battle. I'm pressed my button there. We defeated. Push my button. My controller's going over there. My hands are going off of it. I'm going to give it about 45 seconds to a minute, and then we're going to start logging blinks with Bayleaf. Then, if all goes well, we should be able to re-identify our seed. We should be within or less than 1,600 away from our target. And I should just be able to bring it right over to target Pokemon, paste it in, open the blink timer, and advance to our target. So I'm gonna let this go around one more time, and then I'll start logging. I probably should have. I probably could have started a timer, but I'm just gonna start logging once I see these. 2, 3. I'm gonna wait till I get closer to do the last couple blinks. 4, 5, 6. I think it's probably this one. I'm gonna copy this seed over and see if the blinks match. Yep, looks like they match. So we're locked onto our seed. That's our perfect spread. We have about a minute. It looks like our buffer zone was set up pretty well, because we did less than 10,000. And we only have about a minute to wait. So I probably could have given it an even bigger buffer if I wanted to. I probably could have done 20,000 and still not had that long to wait. So we're going to wait about a minute, get ready to press B. You can also press A. I just like pressing B. The A button on the GameCube controller is so damn big. B feels nicer to me. And as long as our timing is the same as our calibration run, we'll hit our target. It might be off by 1 or 2, though, considering it's been like 2 hours since I did that calibration run, so 2 hours real time. But we'll see. So, any second now. All right, now I'm just going to match through the second battle, and we'll see. If Mantine is female, I'm in business. If it's not, we're just gonna catch it and calc it. So it's not, so we missed, but could be pretty close. We'll see. So I'll go back to... There are actually a lot of male Mantines around our target, so. We'll catch this and see if it is one of them. So, that's unfortunate, but hey, it's our first attempt, so. As long as we're in range, as long as we're in the ballpark, we did everything right. We're just going to have to calibrate. So, not a big deal. So, we caught it. Unfortunately, it's going to get sent to our PC because I have a full party now. So, we're going to win this fight, and then I'm going to go run down to the PC. All right. Hey, y'all. I'm here. We're going to calc this bad boy, see what we hit here. 91, 35, 54, 59, 115, 53. It might be this one. I'll just punch it in here. So we're looking for 707 advances by blinks. Go back to our offset calculation here. We were looking at, yeah, that's the seed we were looking at. I'll paste that in there. Calculate offset. We were looking for that bad boy, and we hit what? Let's do find by stats. We'll punch it in. 91. Oops. 35. 54. 59. 115. 53. And if I punch this in here and hit calculate, looks like we need -2 on our offset. So if we come up here, we go to our profile. If I take 2 off of that, that ends up being 79. And if we hit save, now our timer should be updated for our next attempt, and we can run it again. That's pretty normal. We're about as close as we can be here. So all I'm going to do is reset the game and try again. Our offset was pretty good, so I'm happy about that. We were able to land in range pretty easily. I might even bump it up to 20K just in case I have trouble re-identifying. If that took me another minute or so, we would have went past our target. So I'll probably round it off to 20K. But otherwise, we're just going to seed reset until we get another weight we want to go for, and then we'll do it all again. So that's pretty much the whole process. I'm going to probably just cut to whatever my successful attempt is. Whenever I do get that, I'm going to run another attempt or 2 today, assuming I can find a good weight. But if not, it'll probably be me on a different day actually hitting this. And I'll walk you guys through the process for calculating and checking and locking this in for a post-game capture. So I'll see you guys later. Me from the future actually hitting this thing. Hey y'all, attempt number 2 here, about to leave the summary, finish the battle, and then reblink with Bayleaf. I gave myself 20,000 advances as a buffer this time, just for a little bit more leeway. Because if I fail to refine my seed once or twice, yeah, I might brush up against that limit. So I'm going to back out of this. Alrighty, and now we are going to end the battle. I'm going to get my stuff set up here, clicking battle blink, pasting my other seed back in here. That was my current seed. Battle blink clicked, got my profile selected, the correct one, with our new offset. After our first attempt, this guy should be set up fine. Yeah, that's fine. All right, let's do it. Let's send it. Umbreon goes first and should 1-hit kill the spinner rack. Perfect. We win. I'm going to push the button one more time. Now my controller goes over there. My hands go off. And I'm going to wait and start logging blinks any second now. Yeah, so I got that seed from down here. And that's the seed that's about 20,000 away from our target. So we should be in pretty good shape when we refind our seed. We should be able to open our blink timer no problem. And hopefully we hit this. That'd be wonderful. I'm going to let this go around one more time. I'm going to wait until he's on the other side, then I'll start logging these. Actually, I'll start logging them now. Probably enough time to pass. That's one. Two. Three. Four. I'm going to wait till it goes around again. 5, 6. 6 should probably be pretty good. No, that does not seem right. Let's try again. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna wait till it gets one more cycle. I can hit calculate now. It's probably that one if I had to guess, but we're gonna log one more. Yep, all right, it's that one. Actually, don't need to paste it up there. We're just gonna paste it right here, and we're gonna click open. Oops, I'm gonna click this. Click open timer. Make sure that the sounds match Bailey's blinks. Otherwise, we had about 2 minutes. That looks like it matches to me. I'm just going to leave the sound on a little bit longer so I can get a good clear view of the eyes. Make sure that we're actually on seed here. Yep, that looks pretty good to me. So we got about a minute. Same exact situation as before here. So it'd be nice to hit this on the second go around. I think my offset's probably going to be plus or minus 2 or so. On my calibration runs, I hit like anywhere between like 79 and 82. My offset right now is 79. So I don't think I'll hit early on this one. But I wouldn't be surprised if I hit like 80 something. Let's see. Coming up on our button here. All right, that felt like a pretty good press. Just gonna match through to the battle. We're looking for a female Mantine. That's a good sign. All right, so I'm gonna pull this back up. This is the, I just grabbed a seed 50 advances before our target. So this is what we're looking for here. It has 61 speed. So I'm gonna switch, I'm going to switch Mr. Vis in because Mr. Vis has 60 speed. And I'm just going to call. So if Mr. Vis is able to act first, or I'm sorry, Mr. Vis acts second on the next turn, that'll be a good sign. And then just as a triple check, if the speed check works out, I'm going to switch Quagsire in, and I'm going to use Surf. Oh, shit. Well, alright. Glad he survived an attack. I didn't really think about that. Alright, so I'll just target Apom with this. Well, actually, hold on. I'll just use Shadow Rush into Apom. And I'll call here. So I want Mantine to move before Mischievous. Oh shit, I might just get KO'd. Oh, I didn't. Wow, that's really lucky. Alright, Mantine moved first. That's good. It could have been a speed tie. It could have been a Mantine that has 60 speed, but there really aren't any of those near our target. So I'm going to switch Quagsire in, and I'm going to click Surf. Just to check whether or not it has Water Absorb. So that's Surf, and I'm just going to call on Bayleaf. And if it does take damage from Surf, I'm going to say it's a pretty good chance that this is our guy, or our girl in this situation. Alright, I'm confused, so it might take me a little while. Let's just hit through confusion, please. Thank you. So, Mantine takes damage, so that means it doesn't have Water Absorb, which is great, which is exactly what we want. So I'm pretty confident. I think this is our Pokemon. There's not much else that is female gender, was able to be faster than our 60 speed Mischievous, and doesn't have Water Absorb. The only potential false positive that I've been able to find is up here. And we hit early on the last one, so I would be surprised if we hit this early on the current one. So I'm pretty confident. Of course, if you don't want to do a crazy post-game capture like I have, you can just catch it at this point in the game. But I'm going to be a psycho. So I think I'm just going to intentionally lose because Mantine has been sent out. So I have it spread locked in. Everything but the ability is locked in right now. So if I lose the fight, I can come back, I can save, I can come back later, I can catch it just to check. Make sure that it is my target, and then I can reset the game since I already saved. And then I'll play through the rest of the game, trade a Pokemon with a dive ball over so I can catch it in a dive ball, and re-roll the ability for Swift Swim. So I'm gonna KO my own Pokemon here so that I can lose. And this is a great way to confirm if you're doing a post-game capture. It will be already too late if we lock this in and save. But instead of not knowing for your whole playthrough, I'll only not know for a few minutes. All right, so we've lost. I'll be back in front of the PC. I'm going to save, which is going to lock this in. Since this Mantine was sent out, everything but its ability is already locked in. So we're right back at the PC. I'm going to click save. Well, actually, let me put my... I'll put... hop it back. And we're going to save the game. So if I had missed, which I'm fairly confident I didn't miss, if I had missed here, this would be the end of my playthrough. I would have to restart if I wanted to get this, because we are locked in. I've saved my game. But again, the reason we did all those checks is just to make sure that it's very likely I hit my target. So yeah, again, I don't reiterate enough, but I should. You can of course just catch this Pokemon if you're going for a perfect Mantine and you don't care for it to be. You don't care to re-roll the ability or have it be in a specific Pokeball. Just catch it. You can just catch it in a Great Ball or whatever, and that would probably match just fine. But I'm a psycho. The whole reason I'm doing this is for the most swagged out Mantine possible, so that's what we're doing. Which is this is nice. I didn't realize that I didn't have to fight the Remoraid trainer. So I'm going to throw a couple of great balls at it. I saved, so when I catch it and we can see that it is our target, I'm going to reset the game. And then when I reset the game, I'm going to play through all the way until the post game, where I can rebattle these two. And I'll trade in a dive ball, and I'll re-roll the ability until it is water absorbed. And then I'll be done. That'll be it for this playthrough. So hopefully I catch this pretty quick. Excellent. Okay. Let's see it. Let's see our shiny Mantine. I'll switch him in just for posterity's sake, but of course we're going to reset the game and play all the way through, like I mentioned. So, but let's see. Just to make sure we didn't waste our whole playthrough. There it is. Shiny, perfect Mantine. I'm going to switch it in. And then we will we'll reset the game. Yay. Second try is pretty great. I'm super happy about that. That turned out great. So, Mantine is there waiting for us to get to the post game. So since I already saved, I can reset my game and play all the way through. So I'll include an addendum on the back of this episode, me catching this, re-rolling the ability. But thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Hopefully this is helpful for y'all. See you soon. Hey y'all. Here I am back at the post game. Add a little bit of postscript to this. The Mantine trainer is actually over by where you fight Mirror B on the rematch, which is weird. I didn't really know that, so I had to beat a couple more optional trainers, but we are just about ready to catch this bad boy. I traded over a dive ball. I'm using Surf with Quagsire to check to see if it has water absorb or not. It already procced once in this battle, but I'll show it off. I'm jumping in mid-battle here. But it does have water absorb because Surf did no damage to it. So I should be good on that front. I'm just going to get rid of Furret, and then I'll just throw Pokeballs. Or I throw Dive Balls specifically. I traded one over from my Japanese Emerald. I also saved the Time Flute for my playthrough so that I can just purify it, trade it over right away. And I can free up this memory card for some other stuff I'm doing. So it's going to use Surf, but see if you notice it heals it, which means that it has Water Absorb, which is what I want, which is the reason I was re-rolling the ability here. This is my Dive Ball. I'm going to just start chucking it. I don't have anything that won't kill this in one hit, probably, so I'm just going to chuck balls, I think. So there it is. I'll cut back when I actually catch this, assuming this doesn't take 30 years here. There we go. Finally was able to catch it. That took a good, 5 minutes. But here we are. Once I get control of my character here, I'll show you guys exactly what we're looking at here. There it is, our female 5x31 shiny Mantine. Calm nature, we rerolled the ability to water absorb, and we caught it in a dive ball post game. So there we have it. I'm going to time flute this thing and trade it back to my mainline games pretty soon. But thanks for watching, everybody. Hope this was helpful or interesting. If it was, drop me a sub, drop me a comment, like the video. All that stuff helps. Check out some of my other stuff. There should be a button or a link or something that's going to shoot up. So anyway, yeah, take care.